sometimes stress the importance of psychological and sociological perspective. As a sociologist, I'm also studied aviation, some parts, qualified labor force in aviation. Actually, aerospace industry is my focus. Then I'm on this session. Sevgi for facilitator and Pilgim is a PhD student at Bolaban Faysal University, and she facilitates. Also feel myself really happy to have her. Then we are joined by distinguished panelists, representing a range of NGOs. Actually, one of our Talpa, Turkish Airline Pilot, and Tatça here, Turkish Air Traffic Controls Association, and UTED, Association of Aircraft Technicians, and TASA, Association of cabin crew members. Yes. Captain Pilot Melih Başdemir, representing, as we told, Turkish Airline Pilots Association, with a strong background in aviation safety. Actually, he wrote some books about aviation safety. And Tuğberk Teber and Alper Sarışahin, coming from Turkish Air Traffic Controllers Association, and they known for their work in air traffic control. And also our purser and instructor, Feride Baykara, Turkish Cabin Crew Members Association, specializing in cabin crew teamwork and safety, as far as I know. Then Deniz Günaltay, representing Association of Aircraft Maintenance Technicians, with a strong background in aircraft maintenance. And Inoner Yılmaz, actually, he really would love to be here today, but he sent his apologies. He couldn't be here with us, unfortunately, but he has also a strong background in organizational behavior and aviation management. If you want to learn something more about İnan Hoca, you may Google him. Okay, I would like to give the stage to my actually panelists, and they will briefly, or as they wish, explain themselves and their works and their understanding about aviation safety and future of aviation, and their NGO's role, what kind of roles their NGOs play in promoting aviation safety and sustainability, and also key initiatives or maybe achievements in recent years, and also their perspective on emerging challenges and opportunities in the aviation sector. Okay, who would like to start first? Okay.
Can I have my presentation?
Of course. Can you open
the
Melih Captain Melih?
And I like to stand up. Okay.
Of course, if you want.
You definitely have your presentation. There are several ways to do
I cannot sit like that. So.
There is a pointer. That's right.
Söylemek istiyorum arkadaşlar. Duygu Hocama çok teşekkür ediyorum ama benim için burası çok önemli bir yer. Kuzey Türk Cumhuriyeti bizim için çok önemli, bütün Türk dünyası için çok önemli bir yer. Ve üzülerek bir şey söylemek istiyorum. Burada olduğu için de buna dikkat çekmek istiyorum. Bildiğiniz gibi geçen hafta Özbekistan'da Semerkant Avrupa Birliği ve Avrupa Birliği ve Orta Asya Türk Cumhuriyetleri arasında bir konferans oldu. Ve maalesef Türk olduklarını iddia ettikleri Özbekistan, Türkmenistan ve Kazakistan bizim KKTC'yi satarak Avrupa Birliği ile beraber ortak bir işbirliği yaptılar ve KKTC'nin varlığını inkar ederek Kıbrıs Rum kesiminde elçilik açacaklarını ve Avrupa Birliği fonlarından, 3 kuruşluk Avrupa Birliği fonlarından yararlanabilmek için bu hareketi yaptıklarını bütün dünyaya ilan ettiler. Bu benim için utanç verici bir durum bir Türk çocuğu olarak ve bunu şiddetle kınıyorum. Bu prezentasyona başlamadan önce bunu söylemek istiyorum. Şimdi aynısını İngilizce söyleyeceğim. Dear colleagues, I'm Melih, Captain Melih. I have PhD. But first of all, I'd like to indicate one point which is very crucial for me as a Turkish human being. As you know, last week in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, there was a panel or conference, whatever you may call, you may name, and between Middle Asian countries and EU. So in order to get the EU funds, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan willingly and deliberately annulled the existence of Northern Republic of Cyprus, Northern Turkish Republic of Cyprus, and they just accepted the claims of Greek Cypriots and EU claims, which is a disgrace to all Turkish nations, especially to them. I really strongly condemn them. Okay, now where were we? Okay, I'm a representative of Talpa. I'm Melih Başdemir. I'm flying in Turkish Airlines, 350s and 330s Airbus, and I have more than 20,000 hours of flight. My background is coming from the Air Force. I flew F-16s in the Air Force, and since 2009, I'm in the civil aviation. And I'm doing some academic researches, writing books, articles, and so on. So I can call myself as an aviator. And the main concept, the main study of mine is the CRM and flight safety and flight security. But my main concern, my main focus is CRM. So why I picked a point like this? I know this is Turkish, but I'm gonna present it in English. The single pilot operations, because this is coming, and this is very prominent, and there's a big workforce going on with the single pilot operations now, which will affect our young generation pilots' careers and our safety issues and our safety concerns. So if you have any questions, especially my young friends, my young colleagues, please don't hesitate to ask, okay? So,
Bende bir manyetik alan var ya.
Ne abi?
Gittiğim yerde bir bozuyorum elektrik şey. Çalışıyor mu şu an?
Okay. All right. Now, okay. Okay. Since the automation and AI's articulate intelligence systems are promoting nowadays in every branch of life, this reflects also in the aviation industry. And with that, there is a design of single pilot operations in the today's cockpits. Okay, and this is coming, and there is a big, exchange of information and development in this area. So normally, as you know, when you get in the cockpit and when you fly like a passenger, you see only normally two pilots in the cockpit. But it's not going to exist anymore in the future, and they are working on it big time. And but because of the demand in airline transportation and the challenge and the competition among the companies, airline companies, and the costs of management of the companies, and because of the cost of pilots and airline crews. Because of these effects, these points, there's a main concern of reducing the number of pilots in the cockpit. Okay, you see in this diagram, this is the crew cost as percent of aircraft operating costs. So when you see, from light jets to wide body jets, the cost is decreasing. But when you look at these, these areas, it goes from 35% to 40%. So main concern now is to get rid of these guys, okay? Maybe keep these guys, and down the road, they're gonna get rid of these guys also, okay? But when you look at this table, okay, at least like more than 50% of the pilots are flying in these jets, okay? Because now I'm flying a wide body jet, okay, Airbus 330 and 350, and normally I fly with 2 guys and 3 guys, sometimes 4 guys, but I used to fly 320. Consider this: if you fly 320s or narrow body aircraft with only 1 pilot, you're going to save lots of cost and money as a company, okay? So this is a big issue and very brand new issue coming up. This has been released maybe like 10, 15 years now, and there's a big progress on it. So with the conventional operations, as you see, there's a dispatcher, ground tools, cockpit tools. In the cockpit tools, you have one captain and one first officer, okay? But, now they're going to get rid of this guy, no more first officers, and only there will be a captain, just like in here. So they're going to integrate these tools, ground ops and dispatcher, and they're going to integrate ground tools together and ground operator. Ground operator is another guy who is on the station, like a UAV, unmanned aircraft vehicle, okay, controlling the aircraft. If there's a problem occurs, he is gonna have the captain, the single guy in the cockpit, okay. So they're like, if you see in the YouTube or TVs, like a UAV concept, this ground operator is always following the flights, the operations, and should there be a problem within the operations, they're going to intervene and help the captain. Okay. So today, this is not very well known in our community. Okay, especially in Turkish airspace or Turkish aviation. So we like to create a kind of awareness about this topic, because I don't know how many of you have heard of this topic before in the classroom, in this panel. You, two, three, only three. We are like maybe 30 people, but maybe at most 10%. I don't know how much information you have about this. And this is a big point going on, especially for you young guys. Okay. So the other purpose of this, presentation is to make a kind of projection, in your heads what might happen down the road. Okay. And also, we are trying to kind of create a kind of literature in our Turkish airline studies, like academicians like you. Okay, so this is the pilot condition. Okay, so as a pilot, how do I behave? How do I act? I act normally and incapacitated. I always want to be here. Thank God I've never been incapacitated. Okay. And for a flight condition, nominal, off nominal. Nominal is everything is normal. Okay, there's no abnormal situation. But so if everything is normal, we say stage 1, no problem. The single pilot can still operate. And if there is a normal, the pilot is normal, but the aircraft is not normal, then this captain might ask a kind of help or advice from the ground operations. Okay, so what if we have incapacitated pilot on board? This is very odd position, and we don't want to be in here. Okay, so if everything is okay, given that the pilot is incapacitated, the ground ops will take over and land the aircraft. What if the worst case scenario, everything is off? So it's very hard. It's very hard to they have to meddle with the captain inside who's incapacitated, try to cure him, and at the same time the ground ops will try to land the aircraft with the abnormal situation. So this is the position that we don't want to be in here. Of course, there's a very green chance that we'll be always in this level, but the industry thinks the pilots will be always, this situation will be always on stage 1 or stage 2. Okay, so that's a big assumption, but by the numbers they say the other issues cannot, and with a green chance it will happen. So, all right, normally, okay, we captains operate the flights, all right, flight operations. We command the aircraft and we command everything. Okay. And normally we are PF and PMs at the same time. But this time, when you're having one pilot on board, the flying captain, the single captain will be both PF and PM together. Like in the Air Force days, like we did back in the F-16. We were always one-seat fighters. We were doing that. But the concept was different then, okay? We were not carrying like 300 passengers in the back, or with a narrow body, 200 passengers in the back. So this is a very different position. So what do we understand with the ground control operations? Today OCC, okay? Control of, so are done by via OCC, but and there are some representatives of dispatchers, group planning, flight management, and so on. Okay, but with the single flight operations, there's gonna be a new ground control operations section, and they will just follow all and intervene the pilot's duties with this. Okay, so their main duties, their responsibilities are each operator will command or observe activity. This is derived from the NASA's single part operations research. Okay, so they're gonna observe an aircraft, and they will have some kind of distributed pilot assistance in case of need. And when there is a real need, like a normal situation, like incapacitation, the ground operator will take over the aircraft and he will land it. Okay? Yani arkadaşlar şöyle hemen Türkçe söyleyeyim. 20 kişilik bir 20 uçağı kontrol eden bir yerdeki bir operatör olacak. Şeye göre, teklife göre. Tabii bunlar üzerine hep çalışılıyor. Ve burada o operasyonda eğer bir problem görürlerse uçuşla ilgili o 20 uçağı disipline edip diğer tarafa kaydırıp tek uçakla ilgilenip o uçağın inmesini sağlayacak. Yerden. Anlatabiliyor muyum? Yani bu şu anda nasıl insan hava araçlarını bu şekilde uçuruyorlar, aynı şekilde uçurmaya çalışacaklar. Ve according to single pilot operations, classical, conventional two cockpit operations, there's going to be there is normally one dispatch to 20 aircraft. Okay, so this is like 20 times. You can give an example like 100. It's gonna be like 205 aviators and flight personnel will be there. So with the single pilot operations, it will be cut in the half. So the cost will be gone to the half, and so the companies will get lots of reducement in the cost of pilots. Okay, which in the personnel makes up like at least 30-35% of the cost of personnel. Okay, this is a very big number, and now this is a very interesting topic. Okay. And it's done. It's been investigated by the cockpit associations around the world, and also TALPA is in it. I am a representative of this topic for TALPA, and I'm joining the meetings in ECA, European Cockpit Associations. And actually, we need help from the universities, and we'd like to see more research on this topic actually, because we need to have some solid information or knowledge, academic and scientific results to introduce to the industry, because in the aviation everything is done or accepted or introduced by the aviation industry. Okay, so this topic is not really solely simple as cost-effective measures. Okay. So yeah, we are all using automation. Like 350 is doing everything by itself sometimes. Okay, actually mainly, but I mean, to be honest with you, I feel more comfortable flying 330s. It's a kind of old-fashioned aircraft. But if you encounter a kind of problem, it takes so much time, and sometimes you cannot solve the problem. The aircraft can be grounded. Okay, because of these complex and complicated systems, the AI systems. So what should be done for the manufacturers? It has to be, the cockpit should be designed again, okay? And with this, concept, the first officers will be eliminated from the system, okay? And there's going to be a big data link integration between the ground control and the pilot, the captain. And it's gonna be a system like UAVs, and down the road maybe they're gonna get rid of all the pilots. And in some airline fares, they try, for instance, last year in China, they did an air taxi without a pilot, okay, fully automated by AI. So, and at the moment, especially the Airbus is working hard on it, okay, and they promised that they're going to launch the first aircraft by 2030, single pilot, and of course they have to go on with the concerns of unprecedented issues in the flight safety. And, however for AIs, everybody is trusting AIs, okay? But, even with the translation, you cannot give the same smell, same sense of the translation to the topic if you do it by AI. And guess what happens with the human senses disregarding in the aviation, okay? So as a result, this all started with five crew concept in the cockpit. Now, two persons on the cockpit, and then trying to get to the pilots because of the issues that I introduced in here. So along with the industry and manufacturers, because manufacturers are the factories, they can manufacture any type of aircraft the industry wants. But we, as the key players, as pilots, as academic airline experts, should intervene into the topic. Okay, so I mean, since this covers everything within Cyprus and Turkey, we need to get into this topic and give more attention to this very crucial topic. That's it. Any questions? Var mı soru? Yes. Eyvallah.
Hocam mesela ground operator 20 uçağı aynı anda kontrol edecek demiştiniz. Diyelim o 20 uçağın ikisinin aynı anda arıza çıktı. İki pilotta da herhangi bir problem oldu. Aynı anda iki uçağı nasıl kontrol edecek?
Aynı uçağın aynı anda yani o arızanın durumuna göre bir tane orada çünkü yeterince ground operatör olacak. O oraya dikkatini oraya verecek. Hani herkese bir tane yapacak. Tabii bu tavsiye edilen ama gerçekten öyle olacak mı bilmiyoruz. Gerçekten o data link yapılacak mı bilmiyoruz. Gerçekten yerdeki pilot. Çünkü ya bazen öyle oluyor ki ben mesela PM görevi yaparken bile PF kadar işin içine giremediğim zamanlar oluyor. Dikkatimi toplamam gerekiyor bir anda. Ki yani yılların tecrübesi olmasına rağmen. Yerdeyken bunu ne kadar yapacak? Bunlar hep soru işareti. Güzel bir soru yani. Buyurun hocam.
Hocam tabii ben havacılıkla çok temas halinde değilim ama biraz istihdam boyutuna takıldım açıkçası. Şimdi ikinci pilot diyeyim, PM galiba.
Yok karışık, ikisi de uçuyor.
Tamam, yani en azından bu sisteme geçildiğinde artık kokpitte yer almayacak.
Doğru, tek kişi olacak.
Da istihdamdan da çekilmesi,
doğru.
Yani totalde kullanılan pilot sayısında
doğru.
bir azalma öngörülüyor.
Evet.
Şimdi pilot eğitiminde sıkıntı geçmiş yıllarda muhakkak hasıl
evet.
ve bu işte uçak şirketlerinde kendi yetiştirdiği, kendi eğitimini verdiği şekilde istihdamla kapatılmaya çalışılıyordu. Ancak üniversitelerde her geçen yıl sürekli bir beslenme durumu söz konusu. Yetişen pilot sayısında da ciddi anlamda bir artış. İstihdamda bir azalma yaşanırken yeni mezunların ya da yeni gelişen pilotların da istihdamda bir sıkıntı
kesinlikle
ortaya
kesinlikle.
Bir de bu ground operatörlerin niteliği pilot niteliğinde bu olacak.
Öyle düşünülüyor. Yani bir pilot kadar uçağa hakim olacak. Ama şöyle hani dediğim gibi örnekte yani bu çalışma mesela 20 tane uçağa 5 tane ground controller'ın olması
otomatikman aslında o istihdam
azalıyor
birbirini.
Evet.
Bir
yani
açık ortaya
açık
olacak.
Şöyle olacak. Yani buradaki şu an talep yani arızdaki sayı fazla olunca maalesef ki bu şiddette devam ederse
evet.
O zaman işsiz kalacak o arkadaşlar.
Kalacak.
Bunu yaşadık şöyle. Pardon hocam. Bunu yaşadık. Ben 2009'da sivil havacılığa başladım. Ben başladığımda uçuş mühendisleri vardı kokpitte. Ya ben 5 kişiyi böyle hayal meyal yakaladım ama 3 kişi çok net yakaladım. Ve o uçuş mühendisleri işsiz kaldılar. Aynı şey burada da olacak.
Evet. Yani böyle bir sürece geçildiğinde yaşanacak tablo
tabii,
olacak.
Tabii. Böyle.
Bir yerde tamamen insansız, ticari uçuş bir şey böyle bir yaklaşım.
Var. var. Zaten
Daha da karbon
yani
çıkıyor.
o timeline'da 2050'lerden itibaren oraya evrilecek. Yani şu anda zaten onun hazırlıkları da yapılıyor. Yani bu proje ne kadar tutarsa, ne kadar efektif olursa 2050 yıllarda belki pilotluk diye bir şey kalmayacak. Zaten baktığınızda işte gelecekte yok olacak meslekler şeyine baktığınızda pilotluk onların içinde bir tanesi. Buyurun.
Hocam şu da aklıma geliyor benim. Hani bunun aslında tamamen insansız uçuşlara yönelik bir çalışma sistemi
Değil,
olarak
değil, yok.
şundan dolayı aslında bizim hareket kokpit maliyetlerini düşürmek.
Evet.
İkinci pilotları kaptan pilot yaparken ayrıyetten bir harcama yapacağız. Ona da bir harcama olacak. Yani ikinci pilotlar nasıl kaptan pilot olacak?
Şimdi burada bu konseptte, geçişte öyle bir şey yok. Burada bir tane pilot olacak, kaptan pilot olacak sadece. Yani o nasıl biz hava kuvvetlerinde uçarken tek başımıza uçuyorduk F-16'da. İşte eğitimini alıyorduk 2 kişilik uçakta. Ondan sonra bize tamam dedikleri zaman ondan sonra hep yalnız uçuyorduk. Bu da öyle bir şey olacak. Tek pilot olacak. Yani bunun şimdi ben size sadece bir giriş yaptım. Bununla ilgili sağlık sebepleri var, yetkinlik sebepleri var, eğitimleri var, syllabusları var. Yani bir sürü hocam dediği gibi istihdam problemleri var, kaynak yetiştirme problemleri var. Şimdi mesela buradaki uçuş okulunda arkadaşlara hem PF hem PM görevleri yükleniyor. Ve belli bir oranda, belli bir tecrübeyi kazanana kadar ikinci pilot, ondan sonra kaptan pilotları olacak zihniyle onlara eğitim veriliyor. Ama bu sistem gündeme girdiğinde uçuş okulları da bunu değiştirmek zorunda kalacak. Çünkü direkt olarak kaptan pilot olmak zorunda orada uçmak için. Var mı başka?
Okay, time is up. Oh, okay. One more question.
Hocam ne kadarlık bir mesafeden kontrol edilecek? Merkezler.
Hocam o biraz teknik bir konu. Datalink bugün ben mesela ta Japonya'dan Datalink yoluyla şirkete mail atabiliyorum. Yani uydu yöntemi olduktan sonra onun kullanılmasında çok problem olacağını düşünmüyorum. Ama bunun ne kadar güvenli, ne kadar sürekli da düşünmek lazım. Evet, teşekkür ederim beni dinlediğiniz için. Umarım hayırlı olsun.
Dear Captain, thank you so much, and also this rich and insightful presentation and opening remarks. And actually, who would love to be second one? Speaker, Feride Hocam, would you like to speak?
Yes, sure.
Second? Sure. So, okay, here you are, and I would like to again introduce to you all Feride Hoca, Feride Baykara. She's from Girne American University, and she presents today air cabin crew and in that association here.
Person instructor in the way, and I'm working for 5 years by GAU. Today I give presentation of the cabin crew members. Master.
Alttaki olsun.
So let us give out the history of TASA. TASA was started on May 10 in 1965 in Turkey. These cabin crews were from Turkish Airlines. The base of this association is Turkish Airlines. The goal was to help cabin crew with their rights and problems at work. In 1980, TASA got its first office building in Yeşilköy, and then they moved to Ataköy. In 1993, TASA moved, same year, 1993, TASA became a member of an international cabin crew group, which is the International Cabin Attendant Association. Today, TASA has about 7,000 members from Turkish Airlines and the other airline companies. TASA is one of the top 100 associations in Turkey. It helps cabin crew be safe, trained, and respected. So, helps cabin crew with their rights, gives training and seminars, works with other countries, supports safety and teamwork. TASA wants cabin crew to be strong, safe, and happy at work. When we come back to the gives training and seminars, I have one example for this. In 2009, Cappadocia University, the Department of Civil Aviation Public Services was opened this year at first, and there were not enough lectures at that time there, and they asked for help to TASA, and so we went at that time to there to give backup. Like this, whenever a university or a school needs a backup, TASA is there to give the direction of aviation in a true way for the cabin crew members. So next, what is the vision and the mission about TASA? TASA wants to make cabin crew stronger and respected in Turkey, and the world. So what is the meaning of the respected? That means, most of the public, a part of the public in Turkey, they believe that the cabin crew members are battlers or they are serving just inside the cabin. Actually, our responsibility is first the emergency safety. Uh, Also, in TASA's vision, we want that the cabin crew is going to be safe, happy, and professional in them's work life. So, mission is to protect the rights of cabin crew, to give training and support, as I told you before, to help cabin crew work together to speak for cabin crew in Turkey and other countries. So, what does TASA do? Helps cabin crew with their rights. Um, so maybe you have a question mark. How can I explain it to you? So it was a charter company once a time. Now it's bankrupt, and at that time they want after the passengers leave the cabin that they are going to pick the trash from the cabin. So actually, this is not the responsibility of the cabin crews, and we stopped it in the way. So it gives training and seminars, works with other countries, supports safety and teamwork. It also wants cabin crew to be strong, safe, and happy at work. So, and so, TASA membership structure. There are three different types of members in TASA. The active members, they are the members that are nowadays flying in the companies. So they can join the meetings and they can vote at the same time. Support members are people who are close to aviation, who are interested on cabin crew, to be a cabin crew, or there are some family members, they want to support also the association. So they cannot vote, but they can join the events. Um,
İnternetten
Oh, and they are honorary members. So we are creating events like the 31st May, which is the day of the cabin crew members. And this day, some of the most famous business persons, they are going to show us some places for these events, and they are not getting fees from us. And this is a special thank you for them. That's why we are making them honorary members of TASA. So the activities, what TASA does, training, gives lessons and seminars to improve skills, rights, and support, helps cabin crew with work problems, protects their rights, events and meetings, organize conferences, panels, and social events, supports working together as a team. The international work that the TASA does works with cabin crew groups in other countries. So achievements and impact is stronger cabin crew. Cabin crew feel more confident and respected. Better work conditions help to make safer and happier workplaces. More training, gain more courses and workshops. Big network, build a strong team in Turkey and with other countries. Support for cabin crews. So, what is the national and international cooperation for TASA? The national cooperation, as I said to you, TASA is based on Turkish Airlines. It was the beginning of this association. So we are getting every time backup from Turkish Airlines. At next, it cooperates with aviation schools and universities, supports projects with civil aviation authorities, joins national aviation events and safety programs. On the international side, on the international cooperation, connects with cabin crew associations abroad, shares knowledge and best practices, joins global aviation meetings and seminars, supports international safety and training standards. So the future goals, more training programs to develop, stronger international relations to make that network of connections, new projects for safety and rights. So actually, there we are working together with Talpa most of the time and with the Civil Aviation Authority. Support for young cabin crew and guidance I can accept for that and raise public awareness at last. So why TASA is important for cabin crew? Protects their rights, gives education, support them whenever they need. And what did TASA do for green and safety tomorrow is they are recycling, sustainability, fair trade, solar power, use of public transport and tree planting. These are the things that they're doing. World cleanup day, there was a world cleanup day. Every year there is a world cleanup day, but in 2021 at first, it was a motto, let's do it. And TASA and the Istanbul municipality organized the coastal cleanup at Florya Beach to raise environmental awareness and encourage community involvement at that time, and they are following that year by year. And if you want to contact members of TASA, you can take a picture of the slide. So next, thank you. Do you have any questions? You have any questions?
Merhaba hocam, ağzınıza
Merhaba.
sağlık. Şey sormak istiyorum. Şimdi bu bir dernek olduğu için
Evet.
Türkiye'deki kabin memurlarının yaklaşık ne kadarı üyedir derneğimizin?
7000 dediğim gibi şu an Türkiye'deki birçok hava yolunun kabin memurlarına ulaşıyor TASA.
Evet. Peki cinsiyet oranları hakkında şu anda halihazırda bir veri var mı?
Güzel bir soru hocam.
Yani
Teşekkür ederim.
değineceğim
Şimdi
ben de.
şöyle, daha önceden biliyorsunuz hani bayan kabin memurları olarak başlandı ama Türk Hava Yolları'nda çok daha öncesinde erkek kabin memurları alımı oldu. Özellikle hocam da çok iyi bilir, 67. dönemimiz var. Neredeyse tamamı erkek. Zaman zaman artık İK... Efendim?
Erimlerin
Duyamadım.
erim var ya.
Evet, erim var, İzzet vardı, yine emekli oldu. Şimdi
Erim dayanıyor.
dayanıyor. Şöyle söyleyeyim, İK artık bunu bir hani kadın mesleği olarak görmüyor. Yani dünyada da artık bir kadın mesleği olarak görünmüyor. Dolayısıyla dengeyi tutuyoruz. Bazen dikkat ederseniz sadece erkek kabin memurları alımı oluyor. Bazen dikkat ederseniz karma, bazen sadece kadın, işte bu dengeyi kurmak için.
Evet.
Dolayısıyla sadece derneğin hani bir takibi değildir. Derneğe kim isterse hangi ağırlıkta tabii ki kabul ediliyor ama hani şirketler artık bu dengeye dikkat ediyorlar.
Peki erkek kabin memurlarının dernek üyeliğine olan ilgisi...
Yönetim kurulumuzun çoğu erkek. O yüzden
Yani orada
hani
da
öyle bir
erkek
hayır
var.
hayır başkanımız erkek. Yani her şeyin başı Çağlar Erakpınar ve onların yardımcıları var, İsmail Bey falan. Çoğu erkek ve bile geçmiş zamanda da İzzet Levi gibi, Ersin Paşa Kılıç gibi çoğu TASA başkanlarımız erkek. Yani öyle bilmiyorum. Sanırım hani çok kadın derneği gibi mi göründü size?
Yok. Hocam yarın Deniz Hocam da bahsetmiştir benden.
Aha.
Toplumsal cinsiyet konusuyla ilgili yarın ben de bir sunum gerçekleştireceğim.
Ha evet, anladım.
Ama şöyle, ben mesela toplumsal cinsiyette normalde havacılık işlerinde erkek hakimiyeti vardır ama kabin memurluğunda bir kadın hakimiyeti var. Aslında ben bu boyutu da ele alacağım yarın özellikle.
O zaman size şöyle diyeyim hocam, bizde ekip hakimiyeti var. Biz havacıyız, bizde cinsiyet hakimiyeti yok. Bizde ekip olarak tek başına her şeyi aynı anda, aynı şekilde düşünmek var. Ve biz uçak içerisinde bir kader arkadaşlığı yapıyoruz. Biz kadın ve erkek görmüyoruz, ekip arkadaşı görüyoruz.
Yani
O yüzden
içerimizde
hassasiyetinizi
muhakkak
takdir ediyorum ama havacılıkta yani en azından uçucularda bizde yok hocam.
Kokpit de öyle zaten. Kokpit'te
Yok
de
yani.
Bayağı bayan kaptanlarımız var.
Bu belki mesleğin yani gerek kabin memurları gerek pilotlar.
Bak öğrencilerimiz var.
Bakıyoruz.
Kızlar var.
Hatta
Hepsi
Şöyle.
olacaklar.
bakım ortamında var.
Aynen.
Ve
Bakımda
biz
da var.
bayan kitlesine dayanlarını teşvik ediyor. Sektöre gelsinler diye.
Evet.
Şirket çekmeye çalışıyor. Çünkü çok önemli. Bizim için de çok önemli.
Evet.
Kritik işler var. İnce işler var. Onlarda bayanların daha etkili olduğu kanıtlanmış durumda.
Yani her mesleği kendi içerisinde hani biz bütünüz, kadın erkek ayrılmıyoruz şeklindeki yaklaşım evet. Ama sonuçta bir toplumsal cinsiyet gerçeğini göz ardı edemeyiz bu alanda. Burada aslında o meslekleri yaklaşım da daha küçük yaşlardan itibaren bu mesleklere yaklaşıklı toplumsal cinsiyet olgusu ortaya çıkıyor. O yüzden de ister istemez burada orantısal bir farklılık
Doğru
ortaya
ama
çıkıyor.
havacılığın biraz bunu aştığını düşünüyorum.
Kesinlikle katılıyorum.
Ben
Yani-
çok özür
Evet,
dilerim.
Yok, estağfurullah.
Açtığını
Yok, yok.
düşünmüyorum. Hani dünya oranlarına baktığımızda
Hı.
teknisyen oranları şu an %3-4 civarında kadın teknisyen. Trafik kontrolörlüğü %20'ye çıkmış. Pilot oranı %5,5.
Değil. Bu kaynağı nereden ulaştınız?
ICAO.
O sizinki ortalama olabilir.
Dünya ortalaması.
Dünya ortalaması
Yani
olabilir ama
mesela
Türkiye'de
Hindistan'da
çok iyi.
kadın pilot
Yani
oranı
mesela
%12
Afganistan'da
olarak.
mesela
Belki karşılaştırılabilir. Yani dünya ile Türkiye'nin durumu, Türkiye
Evet.
ülkenin kendisine özgü
Doğru.
koşulları
Evet.
muhakkak
Aynen öyle.
olacaktır. Ama bu gender also I have no gendered occupations konusu. Yani bu toplumsal cinsiyete dayalı iş bölümü ya da bir takım
Kesinlikle
cinsiyetlere atfedilmiş işler konusu akademik olarak çalışılmaya değer bir konu.
Evet, doğru
Organizasyonlarında
söylüyorsun.
da
Belki
öyle.
de ama içinden gelen birileri olarak özür dilerim
Yok,
hocam.
Hocam buyurun.
Çok net size söyleyebilirim. İK'larımız, yani hocam da burada, biz ki en ileri olan hava yollarında çalışmış ve çalışmaya devam eden kişiler olarak kesinlikle cinsiyetçi bir ayrımı yok.
Evet.
Ha, burada Kıbrıs'ta olmanın özgürlüğüyle de şunu çok net size ifade edebilirim. Yakıştırılmak istenen bir görüntü halk arasında olsa dahi İK kesinlikle bu şekilde bir çalışma yürütüyor. Çok net söylüyorum.
IQ
Yok.
zaten toplumsal cinsiyet dengesi olmasına yönelik çalışıyor.
Hı hı.
Hanımefendi bunu demeye çalıştı.
Diyor ama oranlarının az olduğunu söylüyor, dengesiz olduğu söyleniyor. O denge kuruluyor.
İşte yani dünya ortalaması olarak baktığımızda
ilk önümüzdeki süreçler koydu. %25'e çıkartmaya çalışacak. Daha sonra %50'ye çıkartmaya çalışacak. Böyle projeleri var IQ'nun.
Hocam şöyle bir şey de göz önünde bulunduralım.
Ben de makale yazmıştım.
Anladım hocam.
Dolayısıyla hangi organizasyonun yaklaşımı bazı meslek gruplarında erkek egemen meslek grupları var. Bunu kırmak için IQ ciddi çalışmalar yapıyor.
Evet,
Ve
çok
bir yıl uluslararası
Evet
kuruluşta,
hocam.
havacılık kuruluşta destek veriyor. Türk Hava Yolları da destek veriyor. Dolayısıyla
Evet.
onlar da bu alanı
Evet, evet.
o nedenle
Kesinlikle hocam. Bir de size minimal anlamda bir sirkülasyondan bahsedeyim şirket için. Belki hani bazen hepiniz uçuyorsunuz. Uçağa uçtuğunuzda denk gelirsiniz. Bir bakarsınız bütün ekip erkek. Bir bakarsınız bütün ekip kadın kabin memuru. Bu bir planlamadır. Bir. İkincisi, öyle zamanlar oluyor ki askere gidenler çok oluyor. Bu denge bozuluyor. Veya işte doğum iznine çıkanlar oluyor. Bazı nedenlerden dolayı işte ayrıma veya ücretsiz izin alanlar oluyor. Bu denge tabii ki zaman zaman değişebiliyor ama emin olun ki takip ediliyor ve çok profesyonelce takip ediliyor. Yani
güzel bir katkı sunabilirim.
buyurun.
Şimdi tabii TAS'ta ya da genel bir Türkiye istatistiğine ulaşamadım ben kabin memurları. Aslında diğer alanlardaki havacılık personeliyle ilgili de verilere ulaşamadım.
Hı hı.
Türk Hava Yolları'nın kendi verilerine göre %37 şu anda erkek kabin memuru oranı ve
Hı hı.
dünyadaki en iyi oranlardan bir tanesi. Çünkü ortalama %20. Hani bu anlamda en azından baskın personel sayısı Türk Hava Yolları'nda olduğunu göz önünde bulunduracak olursak burada ciddi bir ilerleme kaydedildiğini de söyleyebilirim.
Hocam
O eşitliğe doğru bir
şimdi siz bu 137'lerden rakamlardan bahsederken ben size 94'ten beri uçan biri olarak bu tarihi takip eden biri olarak bir geri bildirim sağlıyorum. Evet, benim zamanımda bir kadın mesleğiydi. Okey, kabul. Ama yıllardan 2025'teyiz.
Evet.
Kaptanlık da bir kadın mesleğiydi. İlk gelen Dilek Kaptanım, Alev Kaptanım en büyük zorlukları çektiler. Dediler ki hamile olsalar nasıl uçacaklar? Evlenirlerse nasıl uçacaklar? Siz o dönemlerden bahsediyorsunuz. Anlatabildim ama Türkiye bunu geride bırakalı. Çok uzun zaman oldu.
Yakın zamanda katılaştı.
Yani inanılmaz güzel geniş gövde uçan kadın pilotlarımız var şu an. Emirates'te mesul 380 kaptanımız var. Türkiye'yi temsil eden şu an. Havacılık olarak hani diğer meslek gruplarında iddialı olamam. Ama kendi meslek grubum için, içinde bulunduğum havacılık için asla ve asla böyle bir ayrım yok. Erkeklerin kabin memurluğunu meslek olarak kabul etme süreci de toplumun bilinçlendirilmesiyle ilerledi. İşte bakınız, Kabin Memurluğu Derneği, işte tabii ki şöyle buralara da dönmek lazım. TASA Yönetim Kurulu'ndayken bahsettiğim yıllarda sivil havacılık kabin hizmetleri bölümleri yoktu. Bir meslek olarak kabul edilmemişti henüz. Ne zaman ki departmanlar açıldı, ne zaman ki öğrenciler bu bölümü araştırmaya başladı, ne zaman ki mezunlar verilmeye başladı, o süreyle de erkekler çoğaldı. Yine alımlarda da erkekler çoğaldı. Yani bu bir süreç gerektirdi. Her konuda gelişme olduğu gibi takriben 94'ten 2000'li yılların şu zamanına kadar çok büyük aşama kaydedildi. Yok, çok. Olmak zorundayız. Olmak zorundayız. Dünya lideri hava yollarına rakibiz. Olmak zorundayız. Başka sorusu olan var mı? O zaman teşekkür ederim.
Yes. Yeah, of course, you have the stage, and Alperos Şahin and Tuğberk Teber, they are from Air Traffic Control Association, and they also have been working as air traffic controllers for years. So they will mention, introduce themselves, and also mention touch on operations about aviation safety and something.
All, thank you for inviting us here to this panel. My name is Tuğberk Teber. I'm working as an air traffic controller in Istanbul Approach Unit for like 9 years. And for the past 2 years, I'm working as an IFATCA license officer for Turkish Air Traffic Controller Association. IFATCA stands for International Federation of Air Traffic Controller Association. We are also a member of this organization. I didn't prepare any presentation, so I will give a brief introduction. As TATCA, our main goal is protect our members' rights, which are air traffic controllers. In Turkey, our number is like 2,000. Probably 2010 or something like that, controllers among all Turkey, and support them whenever they need any work-related issues. Also create a better condition in control air traffic facilities for our controllers. Also support air traffic services both in safe and efficient way. To do that, we are supporting some projects right now ongoing, like free route airspace implementation in our area control center Ankara, or like triple parallel runway operations in Istanbul Airport, which starts tomorrow to operate. I will mention that later. And another one, let's say, to reduce the workloads on our controller colleagues, create any arrival routes to distribute among the traffic and between our colleagues. We also support that kind of new projects. That's it. If you have any question about our organization, I would like to. And also, you just mentioned about gender equality. In Turkey, we have approximately ratio is 50-50, like 50% women controller and 50% male controller. In Europe, it's like 20-25% for women controller. In Turkey, it's, numbers are really good if you compare with other countries.
Ulaşamadık hocam verileri maalesef.
Pozitif ayrımcılık olmayan sayı bu arada bu.
Evet.
Pozitif ayrımcılık olmadan. İK'nın bir çabası olmadan.
Yani aslında
40 küsüre 50
yetkinlik
küsür.
göz önünde
Aynen,
bulundurarak
aynen.
işe alımlarda.
Son 2-3 yıla kadar mülakat yok. Sadece resmi sınav üstünden girilen sayılar. Bizde 50-50'ye yakın.
Evet, hava trafiğiyle ilgili Türkiye'deki hiçbir veriye ulaşamadım. Sizden öğrenmiş çok iyi oldu. Çok teşekkür ederim.
Trafik kontrolü olmak için mesela farklı eğitim backgroundlarından insanlar var.
İkimiz de farklı eğitim
İkimiz de farklı.
Türkçe devam edebilirim.
As you wish, because there are bilingual congress, so if you want, if you feel
İki çeşit hava trafik kontrolü olabiliyorsunuz. Ya 4 4 senelik üniversitede okumanız gerekiyor. Eskişehir'de var. Şimdi Nişantaşı Üniversitesi'nde açıldı bölüm. Sivil havacılıktan aldı bütün onaylarını. Hepsini aldı. Ya da 4 yıllık bir üniversite lisans mezunu olup devlet hava meydanlarının açtığı ilana başvurarak KPSS, dil şartlarını sağlayarak başvurunuzu gerçekleştiriyorsunuz. Daha sonra FEAST adı verdiğimiz bir sınava tabi tutuluyorsunuz.
Brüksel bazı objektif
uluslararası bir sınav. Bütün dünyada uygulanan bir sınav. Bu sınavı geçtikten sonra mülakat süreci oluyor. O kısmı da başarıyla tamamladığınızda takribi bir 18 aylık eğitime tabi tutuluyorsunuz. Bu 18 ay içerisinde 6 ay kadar kule eğitimi, meydan kontrol eğitimi diye geçer. 6 ay kadar yaklaşma kontrol eğitimi, 6 ay kadar da sağ kontrol eğitimi alıyorsunuz. Daha sonra çalışacağınız ünitede işbaşı eğitimine geçerek sürece o şekilde devam ediyorsunuz.
Bir şey sorabilir miyim? Kapça'dan ne zaman haberdar oldunuz? Hava trafik kontrolörü oldunuz. Çalışmaya başladınız yoksa bu eğitim döneminde bu dernekten haberdar mısınız?
Biz sivil toplum olarak
Evet, sivil
nasıl
toplum
haberdar
kuruluşu
olduk?
olarak.
Ben havacılık yönetimi okumuştum. Ben zaten haberlerden, sosyal medyadan takip ediyordum, biliyordum.
Yani işe girdikten sonra.
İşe girdikten sonra var mı başka söylemek istediğiniz?
Soruları varsa arkadaşların alalım bunlar üstünden.
Kapça'ya dair yani
hızlıca.
Air Traffic Control Derneği'ne
STK
dair
özel teknikle hazırız yani.
istediğiniz gibi. Var mı soru sormak ister? Or I will ask some questions. I have prepared actually 5 questions to ask them. I will ask some questions during this panel. So thank you so much, Ayberk and Deniz Hocam. Okay, I'm roundtable discussion. Also, thank you for your all contribution, insightful opening remarks, and we have now a broader knowledge about these NGOs, these important NGOs, and I will ask their efforts advance in aviation safety and sustainable green aviation. And our first question actually about how do NGOs shape safety standards?
Yeah.
And also how, in other words, how have NGOs contributed to shaping safety culture across the aviation sector? And we will continue Association of Aircraft Maintenance Technicians. Yeah.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Hoca, and for clearing this beautiful congress. And I am Deniz Günaltay, working Turkish Airlines for approximately 15 years. First of all, I started to work as a technical aircraft technician or engineer. It depends on the name. And secondly, now I have been working as a basic training technical instructor to train the new upcoming our classmates or workmates. What is the name of the UTET? UTET means Association of Aircraft Technicians or Engineers. And what is the goal of the UTET? UTET is to strengthen our aircraft technicians in their position and share not theoretical and practical information about it among us, and provide some situations, especially to increase the situation awareness in aviation industry and doing maintenance practice. And let's answer the questions. Yeah, as UTET, we will publish some magazines. First of all, UTET Dergi. UTET Dergi published monthly, and international 3 monthly. In these magazines, we them as a powerful practice all over the world, and especially we write news or essays about the sector. to increase the situation awareness.
Also in Turkish and in English,
Yes,
as far as
in
I
Turkish
know,
and
the
English.
actual version.
At least one news, at least one essay about this safety. But because in the hangars there are a sentence on the wall, all on the wall, big sentence, and the right red color. Safety comes first. It's very important thing in the maintenance process. Why? If you do a fatal error in the maintenance, you deviate the maintenance manual, repair manual, you do in the there are a lot of accidents, you know. Yeah. So it is very important point. Safety. It's play critical in the maintenance process. What we do, we will in the future. Some MEDA or MSR newly dedicated. What is the MEDA? Maintenance Error Decision Aid. When any aircraft accidents or incidents in the maintenance, they will publish a report, MEDA or MSR. MSR, what is the meaning of MSR? Maintenance Safety Report. It is dedicated to the report about the safety. Because of this, we will, as NGO, in the future, train some clues about classmates or workmates or our aircraft technicians and maintenance.
Yeah, thank you so much. Do you have any examples from your NGOs? For example, Miri Hocam, do you have some specific examples to foster or promote aviation safety in South?
Exactly. APA is a branch of airline safety, and we are always publishing some articles about airline safety, and plus it was the company's approaches in the airline safety branch within TALPA who is dealing with the issues. And along with that, TALPA is a member of IPAPA, which is the International Confederation of Airline Captains Pilots, and ECA, a European Captain Association, and ASAP, Airline Pilots of Star Alliance. Okay? So they are all representatives of TALPA within these organizations, and each of these organizations has their own airline safety departments, and TALPA is contributing. And I'm a member of TALPA, and I follow, as I mentioned before, it's a big approach with single flight operations, and I'm the director of initiative for TALPA. So is to promote TALPA is to promote the peer assistance and airline safety and collaboration of all areas.
As I know, you all, as a representative, also, yes, you all play a role as a national actor, but also you have some regional and international
That's
memberships.
what I'm saying. Yes, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
you
saying.
all saying it because I know also Katja has a member Air Traffic Controllers Association, and you as UTED and as PASA, you all also representatives of international face of these NGOs. That's why, as second question, could you give some insights or lessons learned from these regional backgrounds as for example, good examples to be followed by national, to be suggested to
I can give a specific. Yes. I was back then, when the new approach of FDRs were introduced to Turkey, SHGM here. It started with of course, and we worked on it.
And we, as EASA members, again, I was there, contributing the flight limits and the rest periods of pilots. And then we worked very hard on the rest times. And then taken from their information or researches, adapting ours, and we wrote our part as which outlines the main operating procedures of airline operations. There's a section 7 inside, and that section 7, actually chapter 7, talks about FTS. Okay, we inserted those, very remarks of TALPA's findings into the Part A documents of the FTS. So it's a very specific example, and there are also some other points going on now because. We are all coming from the, our occupational associations, but we are all international. Okay.
Yes, of course. I would like
So,
to stress that.
that's why we are always conveying information from each other, from the other, from the other nations to our nation. And one specific example was about FDI, and the other one is going on now with the single flight operation.
Yes.
So I can speak. I told you I'm a license officer for IFATCA, so we have a group with other, a member of a European region. We have a group with other NGOs from other countries. We are most of the time sharing our ideas, asking how about implementations in their country, how they are using it, exchange ideas. For example, we were maybe ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. We have 4 teams back then. And
After 2 days.
After night shifts, we have only 48 hours off time. Now we transitioned into 5-team roster system. Now we have 72 hours after night shifts. So the first 24 hours is considered as a sleep day. Now 40, and after that 48 hours off day. And it's as you can imagine, increase our motivation, reduce fatigue. Also, controllers can come to work with well rested. So when I mentioned this system to our NGO representatives, they are shocked, literally shocked, because they are not working like that. Their working hours a bit intense if you compare with ours. So we are a bit ahead of them. About this situation, for example.
It's really highlighted issue actually in Turkey about Turkish working conditions because it's a really very unique type of work. And
Yes.
you have really unique working and also resting conditions and times. Also, Feride, would you like to say something?
Actually, it is not only for my association, it's for all the associations of human like we are. As I told you, we are working as a team. Whenever the civil aviation authority wants to publish one rule, they are sending us all that information and they are asking us about they are expecting to publish it. In our opinion, would it be right or not? When not, what is the reason? They are almost asking for the feedbacks with these kind of situations. And time to time, we are asking also Talpa about that, and they are sending also to Talpa. Then we are, we are connected to each other. The duties are the same, and everything is same. So, it's going on like this.
You are contributing to the process literally.
Yes.
As far as
Especially we contribute EA commit, European Aviation commit, and not only EMCOA, at the same time to NAA, National Aviation Authority, to facilitate rulemaking. Okay.
That's so important. And also, I would like to ask another question, challenge. A critical challenge from your opinion or from your perspective as air traffic controller, as airline pilot, as a maintenance aircraft operational and cabin crew. because for aviation, safety is really plays crucial role because you all have really important jobs and important works. Important to set up the safety conditions in aviation as a sector, as a whole sector. What are the critical challenges your NGOs and also your professional organizations face when advocating for safety or sustainable projects? Do you face with, actually the question asks, do you face that some challenge when you suggest or when you give a feedback to contribute safety or to increase safety conditions? What kind of challenge you have been living in?
Actual flight operations is a challenge itself. So the main concern now is the demands of industry and companies, because there's there's a demanding flight schedule for all companies now. So Talpa is a voice of these companies. So especially when it comes to again the FTL and the scheduling by the companies, the off days and everything, therefore, Talpa is introducing what should be done to the companies along with the unions. Okay, but Talpa is an association of the of occupation. All right, the pilot, it's a kind of pilot's voice. But when it comes to rule making, that rule making is done by the companies and the unions. Okay, so as you know, there are two unions, Hava İş and Havasen, and Hava İş also is leading the CLAs with the companies, which is Turkish Airlines only. So the Talpa is trying to these, to these institutions. So maybe if those times the proposals coming from the Talpa, sometimes cannot be heard by these institutions. Okay, so but again, Talpa is just conveying the real voices of pilots because this is directly related with the flight safety. Okay? If you have fatigue, if you are overly tired, you cannot perform well. Okay, so it's very critical. Maybe this is one of the challenges we are facing now.
Yeah, filling the gap between stakeholders of the sector, because there are some also trade unions, and you also plays a role as an NGO, and there are some policymakers and industrial actors, and you are trying to make your own contributions to these actors to fill the gap between these stakeholders.
Yeah, I agree with my captain, and I would like to add, in my opinion, the big challenge is the shortage of workforce in aviation industry. Sometimes Airbus and Boeing will publish the forecast, the 20 years period. You look in there and you see approximately 600,000 technicians in the
Where are those technicians?
how can we find the solutions? Maybe in the next Congress there will be issue.
Yeah, because I also my doctoral thesis is about total that qualified here Turkey, because maintenance, engineers, pilots, cabin crew, these are really mutually inclusive issues. So aviation is actually a whole sector. Aerospace industry as a whole sector, and perspective. We need to keep this perspective while we are talking about aviation and aerospace industry. Would you like to say something?
Well, I could mention about the system just told you before, 14 to 15 rooster transition. So it caused one problem, staff shortage. Say 100 controllers working in one unit. With 14, it's like 25 in each team. When you transition it to 5, it reduces to 20 controllers per team. So the main problem is controllers cannot use their annual leave when they want. The old system, maybe 3 or 4 controllers can use annual leave at the same time, but with the new one, it's maximum 2, maybe. The numbers are just to make it clear in not exact numbers. just to trying to give you an example. So how we solve this? Controllers they didn't want to lose this 72 hours of time, so they contacted with each other, talked with each other, mutual understanding, and they solved the problem within itself, just to keep this right to continue like that. They do not want to turn back the previous system, because it's hard when you used to have 72 hours rest day, rest time after night shifts. It's hard to go back to 48 hours a day. So we, NGO and our members, we try to make mutual understanding and solve it like that. But we still have some staff shortage. But our aim is be recruiting regularly to solve this issue. And I think it's much worse in Europe, for example. Staff shortage. It's maybe their main problem. I'm talking about the controllers, but it's not that worse in our country. But we face that example.
So it's really important to train and educate qualified labor force, qualified workforce, any part of aviation
It
sector.
takes approximately 2 years to educate a controller, not a short time.
So we need to have a clear connection between educational ministry and educational policymakers, and also aviation policymakers could talk to themselves, or there should be a connection, clear connection between these two national actors. This is so important as far as I understand. Actually, while these explanations, we have already finished question 4 and the last question, because question 4 is based about what are your suggestions. Actually, you are, because as NGOs, you are bridging the gap. You are playing the bridge, actually, the bridge wall, because you keep together the actors,
This
national
bridge
actors,
also
policymakers.
contributes to operational realities carried out controls, for
Yes.
example, with the regulator's theoretical process.
Uh-huh.
The NGOs also play an important role.
Of course, that's why this session is really important for organization committee. Also, thank to them all. Nurhan Hoca now on behalf of the organization committee is here. Also, Barlas Hoca as one of the most effort member of organization committee, because that's why this session is really important. NGOs plays a crucial role, and you are, as a members of NGOs, have a big impact, create a big impact on Turkish aviation industry. And the last one, future trends and strategic intervention. What are your, when we look forward, what emerging trends do you foresee impact in aviation safety and sustainability? We actually in general talked about safety, but when we talk the green aviation and sustainability of aviation, to keep sustainable to aviation, actually workforce shortage is important, because we need to qualified labor force, qualified workforce. What
I'll
else?
give you some examples about air traffic perspective, about fuel reduction of airlines, reduced carbon emission. Let's say starting tomorrow, we're going to launch triple runway operation in Istanbul, which really traffic flow will be much faster, and it means less fuel consumption, less carbon emission. So this is all that we can do to help doing sustainability side of this topic. Another example, in London, continuous descent operation. Yes, we're not using it right now, but my captain knows better than me. But in this continuous descent operation, basically aircraft descends without leveling off. It means less consumption. Continuous descent. Yes, continuous descent. Again, less carbon emission. Another example, free route airspace. Now, conventional way, or FIR, like region, fixed, the aircraft must follow those unless instructed by control. Now our ACC is working to transition this through their space project. It's still in progress. They start to use it. It also shortened the air routes. And again, less consumption than combination.
Carbon emission, about any environmental issue do you want to tell or talk about?
You know, our ATC is doing a great job in Turkish airspace. Because I'm flying all over the places, from US to Japan, and I see many countries. You know, because first of all, they are very well trained. They have impeccable English, no problems with level of English proficiencies, and they are very practical. They give very short routes to everybody without distinguishing. Sometimes we are getting mad at why are you doing this guys to them? You know, when we go to Heathrow, they don't let us fly. But
Electronic noise, it's really hard to understand electronic
those
noise. There are
Heathrow guys, you know,
noises
the British.
during the communication.
So, I mean, be serious, you know, they're really good at their jobs. They're giving shortcuts
They are the heroes.
because the
Not the
Istanbul
heroes.
airspace is a mess.
Our motto is "You fly, we share."
Yeah, and Istanbul airspace is a mess, and they are very keen on giving shortcuts, shortening the routes. And I know if they get if there is a house to be done, they will do it. Okay, so and when we ask for like runway change and something, because normally when you come from the European side, they give you 2 for left. But you know, due to parking positions, we request 3-5 right, and if traffic is okay, they let us have the 3-5 right. You know, those kind of issues, and that's why they're very practical. For the pilots, wheel, we do single engine taxi ins and taxi outs. That saves a lot, especially when you foresee kind of a longer taxi times, and using APUs. Okay, less AP usage, especially on the ground again, because we have which sustain the power to the aircraft. Okay, and also with the performance levels, performance calculation, we request the optimum levels depending on the traffic again. And I again thank the Turkish. I mean, we have this problem everywhere. Okay, because you know Airbus high performance aircraft and it can attain levels immediately. To be honest with you, it's better than Boeing. And have to use to optimize our fuel usage. But especially in Chinese and sometimes in the US airspaces, due to their restrictions, they don't give us. In our airspace, they give us like that. So those are good concerns. And when you talk about green operations, you must integrate the ATC, maintenance, and the flight operations.
Would you like to say something, Sayın Hocam? Okay, I actually turn to our audiences. Do you want to ask or say something about safety issue in aviation or sustainability in aviation or green aviation and efforts of NGOs to foster, to protect, or to provoke sometimes that kind of challenges and opportunities about future of aviation? Do you want to say or make your contributions? Yeah.
I have a question about the new trends, UAVs, maintenance, traffic.
Traffic and maintenance.
UAVs, drones.
They are controlling traffic.
You mean unmanned air vehicles or yeah, unmanned air vehicles? What is your opinion about?
Which is third class. Because you know,
You are asking about how they control it or about maintenance?
Or how they affect
It's the ways.
aircraft or
in the
aviation
traffic,
industry?
how they affect the traffic.
We are not controlling UAVs. They have their own operators on the ground. And they're just calling us, saying we are departing now. They have designated areas from a limit. They have top limit. They cannot climb without a coordination over that flight level or altitude, designated altitude. So they call us and saying we are departing to climb this altitude. Is it okay for you? And if our traffic permits, Okay, no problem. They are departing and climbing to their designated area. They can only work in this designated area. They are now sitting with NOTAM. So if they want to work another region, they have to coordinate with us. But because they are unmanned, we don't have any frequency communication with them. We are just talking with their operator on the phone. That's how I.
Onlar normal trafiğin içine girmiyorlar.
Evet.
Yani bizde yer telsizleriyle iletişim olmuyor. Telefonla operatörle iletişim kuruyoruz ve normal trafiğin içinde bir trafik yönlendirmesine tabi değiller. Ama Amerika'nın sanırım İHA SİHA'larında hava yer telsizi var. Amerika'dan kontrol ediyor ama
ondan emin değilim.
uçağın üstündeki vericiyle bizde konuşuyor.
Şöyle bir şey
Onlar
var.
biraz daha gelişmiş sanırım.
İHA 3 sınıfındaki İHA'ların telsizlere ve diğer ekipmanlara ihtiyacı oluyor. Yani hava trafiği tarafından kabul edilmeleri için bunlara ihtiyacı oluyor.
Teknik kısmına çok haiz değil.
O NOTAM'lı sahada uçtuğu için bu teknik kısıtlamalara tabi olduğunu düşünmüyorum. Çünkü bunlar sivil havacılığın onay verdiği sahalarda ve seviyelerde uçuyor. Bizim trafiğimizin içinde İHA yok.
NOTAM'lı sahalara biz de sivil uçak sokmadığımız için herhangi bir tehlike teşkil etmiyor.
Bizim trafiğimizin İstanbul'da içinde İHA yok.
Peki uzun mesafelerde uçmak isteyen İHA'lar için problem oluşuyor.
Onlar için de yollar belirleniyor. Onlar da bize haber veriliyor öncesinden. Bizim o bölgeye sivil trafik sokmuyoruz. Yani bir TK, bir Pegasus ortasında bir İHA arda arda gitmiyor hiçbir zaman. Böyle bir trafik ayırmamız yok.
Şöyle bir şey var. Atıyorum üst limiti 20 bin feet'e kadarsa 23 bin, 24 binde tabii ki geçebiliyor.
Evet.
Sivil uçaklar.
Ayırma, vertical separation
Aynen,
deniyor.
sağlam.
Orada 2000 fitlik bir ayırma sağlıyoruz ama yani düşündüğün gibi değil. Yani o uçaklara sağa dön, sola dön talimatı vermiyoruz.
Okay, thank you very much. My question is, what about the future trends for ATCs? Because we started to use artificial intelligence in a lot of programs. Some people say in the future we're going to need no more ATCs. What do you think?
No more
Also
pilots, no
for
more
pilots.
ATCs.
For the pilots.
We are rounding over.
İnsanlar yok
Of
edecek.
course, for the
Herkes rahat eder.
Yeah, but because this is really important because we
Yes.
are also talking about humanoids
in
and
order to
interfacing
start
issues.
with the crew,
Yeah.
especially,
Yeah.
maybe one day we'll see some
We
robots.
will see it all together at home, hocam.
I don't
The elections.
Yeah.
How was it one day? Once upon a time.
I don't think it's possible.
Why? Look, I think it's possible.
I don't
Maybe
think
they
it's
will better
possible.
Okay, because this is
Ben buna
really
Türkçe bir cevap
important
verebilir miyim?
Evet.
Şimdi gerçekçi olmak lazım.
Evet.
Eğer böyle herkes
İnsan
böyle hani
faktörü
şu an
denen bir
sanki,
şey var.
sanki AI böyle Allah'ım yarabbim biz girdik her şey bitti. Ya değil arkadaş değil yani. Adam gibi bir tane translation bile yapamıyor işte. Yapamıyor yani. O hadi ben size bir şiir vereyim de onu AI ne bileyim Farsçadan Türkçe'ye çevirsin. Var mı İranlı arkadaşımız?
Var da
Yani
İranlı.
şöyle
İran.
söyleyebilirim.
Yok. Yapamaz.
Normal.
Dur oğlum sen otur yerine.
Kaptanımızın bahsettiği
I will give a chance.
nominal bir
to
trafik
answer
akışında
question to
tabii
you.
ki
Okay, but please,
AI
wait a
yardımcı
second.
olabilir ama trafik hiçbir zaman öyle akmıyor. Sıkıntı orada. O noktada insanların inisiyatif alıp bir şey zaten kontrol inisiyatif almadığı sürece İstanbul hava sahası için konuşursam o trafik gitmez. Öyle şöyle atılabilecek bir trafik yapısı yok yani.
Humans still
Ama
play the
onlarda
crucial
onu
role as
zaten
far as
deniyor.
I'm
Aynen
concerned.
öyle.
Oraya
In
Yapay
aviation, of
zeka
course, in
çalışıyor.
aviation sector, okay, what is your question? Please also introduce yourself and
Yes.
ask your question. Uh-huh.
My question goes to the maintenance aspect, still based on the artificial intelligence. So I want to ask, currently, like additional any role AI is playing currently in engineering and technician. And two, I have two questions. The second one, in the nearest future, that there will be a decline in engineers, as personnel, engineering personnel. And the third question is, like generally, classify the difficulties and the situations that we are facing in general in technology or engineering maintenance. Because I think, there's this economy of trying to manage money, funds, and stuff in a country or in an environment. So, but I feel that there should be, even if an undergraduate program for students, like, even if it's a semester in each curriculum, each school, as long as you have the aeronautical engineering or you have any engineering at all, it's not specifically to be anything, but both vehicle or anything, as long as it has to do with safety of human life. I think that there should be a program that must be undergo, basically, specifically on practical. Because if you bring it up and sometimes it goes through, they accept it. Some countries or some places don't, like, they keep it aside because they think it's wasted of money or something. So I think that is that the but the AI involvement and in the nearest future, how do you think the AI is going to be?
May I make a question, because we also have been talking about and discussing workforce shortage. And also we are talking about AI impact on the production and design process. Is there any important effect or opinions about?
Yes, first of all, I would like to explain the MRO side, Maintenance Repair Organization. There are a lot of MROs in Turkey, and they invest AI. Okay, and especially in the process, they get access step by step to preventative maintenance. Okay, what is the preventative maintenance? It's based on solely AI. Okay, they find failures, best failures, and they do the corrective maintenance action. And the next aircraft most probably produced or created the issues according to the AI, I think. And the other question, the third question.
Third one actually.
Yes,
not
yes.
question,
At the same time, future technology most probably will use by MRO, Maintenance Repair Organization.
Yes.
Okay.
It's his opinion and perspective.
Or just a second, the correction or prevent to huge gap for shortage of they I mean regulators, EASA, FAA or NAA, they will be able to use AI technology for AR, MR. So they shorten the training process, okay, and they focus on the training, and they shorten the training process, and they gain new workforce easily.
Yeah, thank you so much. Do you have any questions to ask? Okay. Of course, feel free yourself.
Ben tekrar uçuşlar hakkında bir soru sormak istiyorum. Şimdi tabii ki anlıyorum, tek top olarak uçuşlar gerçekten yararlı olabilir ama birçok senaryoda çok riskli olduğunu düşündüğüm bir plan benim gözümde. Çünkü bildiğiniz üzere aviyonik sistemleri uçağın bazen yanlış ölçümler yapabiliyor, bazen irtikabı olsun, vertical speed olsun, bazı yanlış ölçümler olabiliyor. Bu gibi bir durumda tek pilotla uçtuğumuz zaman o tek pilotun bir sağlık sıkıntısı çıkması durumunda yerdeki pilot yanlış bir iniş sağlayabilir. Yani bu konuda çok riskli bir hareket olmuyor mu ya?
Şimdi biz yani meslek organizasyonu olarak zaten bunun aynı bahsettiğim konulardan dolayı riskler taşıdığını söylüyoruz ilgili karar vericileri. Ama maalesef havacılık sektörü meslek kuruluşlarına göre değil, endüstrinin ve üreticilerin inisiyatiflerine göre ilerliyor. Biz şimdi dünyadaki bütün meslek kuruluşları, pilot meslek kuruluşları buna karşı yani karşı olmamakla birlikte, yani kesin böyle o istemiz tarzında olmamakla birlikte onların görmek istemedikleri yönleri ortaya çıkarmaya çalışıyor. Bu senin biraz önce bahsettiğin durumla ilgili. incapacitation durumuyla ilgili. Data linklerinin bu haberleşme o şekilde sağlanacak. Güvenilirliğiyle ilgili ve güvenliğiyle ilgili. Ve bununla ilgili organizasyonel, sağlık, eğitim, bütün bu şeylerle ilgili. Bir de en çok şimdi biliyorsunuz havacılıktaki kazalar sadece gittin inemedin uçağı kırdın olmuyor. Aynı anda birçok faktör bir araya geliyor ki CRM çok önemli boyutunda. Ve bu CRM boyutunu tek kişi olarak hani biz mesela hava kuvvetlerine uçarken aslında aramızda bir CRM vardı. Neden? 4 uçak bir yere kalkıyorduk, bir yere gidiyorduk. Ve sürekli olarak aramızda iletişim halindeydik. Birimizde bir arıza olduğunda diğer numarası gelip onun arızasına yardımcı olmaya çalışıyordu. Ama biz şu anda tek kişi uçuyoruz. Airline olarak. Yer kontrolleri ne kadar CRM kuracağız? Çünkü onunla hiçbir bağımız yok. O bizi hiç görmüyor. Ben onu görmüyorum. Yani iletişimde de mesela şimdi biz arkadaşlarımızı seslerinden tanıyoruz. Kanlı canlı ilk defa burada görüyoruz. Ama onların vermiş olduğu o hani ses tonunun bizim üzerimize yarattığı etkiye biz mesela güveniyoruz onlara. Ve o bize bir rahatlık veriyor. Ben Türk Hava Sahası'na gittiğim zaman Allah'a şükürler olsun diyorum yani. Şimdi aynı şekilde o kontrolör nasıl bir CRM kuracak? Bu da mesela ciddi problemlerden bir tanesi. Ama yine başa dönecek olursam maalesef ki biz bu problemleri ya da sınırlı yerleri ne kadar gösterirsek gösterelim. Şu anda müthiş bir otomasyon ve AI çılgınlığı var. Her türlü operasyonun bunların yardımıyla çözülebileceği gibi bir inanış var şu anda. Ve Airbus'un bununla ilgili dediğim gibi 2030'a kadar uçurma şeyi var, taahhütü var. Hatta pilotsuz şu anda tek pilot uçuracak şimdilik. FedEx firması Airbus 321 Freighter'la yani nakliye uçağı, kargo uçağıyla geliştirilmesiyle ilgili şu anda FedEx firmasıyla Airbus bu konuda çalışıyor. Ve EASA ile FAA arasında da bununla ilgili lisanslandırma şeyleri başladı. Tabii biz Avrupa Birliği üyesi olmadığımız için EASA'ya hükmedemiyoruz ama ECA aracılığıyla EASA'daki komisyonlara görüş bildiriyoruz. Hani bu konudaki problemleri ortaya çıkarmayla ilgili. Yani bu daha çok su götürür. Ama şu anda tam benim gördüğüm kadarıyla iki tane fokus var burada. Bir tanesi maliyet, ikincisi kaliteli pilot ihtiyacının karşılanması. Yani çok airline endüstrisi çok büyüyor. Bununla ilgili de hem maliyetler artacak hem de pilot ihtiyacı artıyor. Ama pilot ihtiyacından şunu yanlış anlamayın lütfen genç arkadaşlarım. Kaliteli pilot ihtiyacı. Kaliteli pilot. Ben pilot oldum, oh ne güzel işim var. Hayır öyle olmuyor maalesef. Benim bile şu anda işimden ayrılsam ben bile bu 20 saat uçuşla gideceğim, kendimi ispatlamaya çalışacağım. Yani ve onların amacı kaliteli pilotları sağlayarak tek kişilik operasyonların yapılması yönündedir.
Teşekkür ederiz. Var mı başka soru sormak isteyen? Do you have any questions, contributions to our panelists or to our panel? No? Okay, thank you so much. Actually, these are really insightful and rich and fruitful panel. And Sevgi Hocam, would you like to say panel? What is your opinion or contributions?
Ben de Türkçe
Of
söylemek
course,
istiyorum.
feel free.
Öncelikle bence havacılık yani Türkiye ve Kıbrıs'ta yani bu benim şahsi fikrim yeteri kadar değeri bilinmiyor ve üstesine gelinmiyor. Bunun için bu konu çok önemli. Özellikle dijitalleşme, sürdürülebilirlik yani bu kapsamda çok önemli. Emeği geçen herkese duyduğum hocalar, Bağlas hocalar, Cengiz hocalar sonsuzlar teşekkürlerimi sunuyorum hepimizin adına. Çok güzeldi ve çok güzel bir şey geçiyor. O yüzden herkese tek teşekkür etmek istedim.
Evet, güzel bir kongre diliyoruz hepinize. Elinize sağlık. Evet, biz bir aile fotoğrafı alalım sonra hep birlikte alalım. Gelirseniz böyle güzel bir anı fotoğrafımız olsun. Kim çeker bizi? Ha, zaten alalım.
Gelin hocam.
Telefonuna vereyim mi hocam?
Çekiyor diye düşünüyorum biri ama arka plana kongreyi alabiliriz.
Evet, aynen.
Say Congress Tomorrow 2025 vardı sabah. Biz
Hayat hızla akıyor ve biz bu hızı seviyoruz.